You're watching TVC Breakfast. It's time for us to look at the headlines across Nigerian newspapers. And I have with me some of our regulars. Dr. Dayo Kayode is here in the studio. It's good to see you, Dr. Kayode.
Nice to see you. Dayo missed my chain this morning. What happened? What is the secret?
It's just like yours. All right, and we have Dotun Ojon as well. Dotun, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Good to see you.
Happy Monday.
Great. Happy Monday.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. All right, now let's start with this Nigeria. This Nigeria says Anambra governorship election. It's Abga's Soludo and amid Beaver's glitch, ex-CBN governor in clear lead. That is what this Nigeria is saying. APC calls for cancellation, alleges widespread fraud. That is this Nigeria. Okay. The Nigerian News Direct is next, and it says Anambra Guba poll, Soludo clears 17 local government areas. PDP, APC suffer massive defeat, and APC rejects results. PDP awaits final result declaration for reaction. All right, that's News Direct. Daily Times also on the election, Anambra election, Soludo leads. Soludo leads. That's the Daily Times there. Blueprint newspaper, Anambra 2021, and it says Soludo inches close to Anambra government house. And Abga wins 17 local government. YPP, PDP won apiece. Most peaceful election, police is saying. Coalition officer claims signing results under duress. All right. And the NSCDC core members lauded over their conduct. All right. That's a Blueprint newspaper. Or certainly we're looking at all of that from that perspective. Vanguard is next. Anambra, Soludo, Ozigbo, Uba's fates hang on Ihiala. Okay, and INEC postpones election in Ihiala with 148,400 registered votes or voters to November 13. That's supposed to be on Tuesday. Soludo leads, wins 17 councils. Fear of election being inconclusive looms. Well, the election is inconclusive as at today. YPP wins Nnewi North. PDP wins Obaru as APC records nil. I signed Urumba North results under duress. Coalition officer is saying this. All right, all that on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, The Punch is next. Anambra governorship poll. Soludo set to win, leads in 17 local government areas. APC alleges rigging. PDP, YPP win in one local government each, and APC yet to win. We wouldn't accept result. Abga rigged, claims APC. Leadership newspaper. INEC declares Anambra governorship poll inconclusive. Leadership newspaper. Leadership says INEC declares Anambra governorship poll inconclusive. All right. From there, let's go to the Abuja Inquirer. Kubwa markets inferno. How adulterated kerosene claimed 15. The FCTA banned sale of inflammable materials. That's the Abuja Inquirer saying that. Abuja Inquirer. All right, Kubwa market inferno, how adulterated kerosene killed 15. That's really sad. From there, let's go to Daily Trust. Daily Trust says disquiet as customs officers extort motorists on highways. Daily Trust. All right, that's Daily Trust. And then let's go to Business AM. It says funding challenge dams Silver's worry Kaduna refineries optimism. Funding challenge dams Silver's worry Kaduna refineries optimism. All right. Recall that there were plans to revamp the refineries. Okay. From there, let's go to let's go to Business Day. All right. Afrobeats pays Nigerian artists as the world listens. All right. Afrobeats pays Nigerian artists as the world listens. Of course, the Nigerian beat now is the strongest beat out of Africa, stronger musical beats from outside of Africa. And we see that the Caribbean are now, trying to learn what the Afrobeat is all about. It's really interesting. Business Day. All right, national economy is next. Nigeria needs energy bank to boost oil. gas project funding. Okay, that's national economy. And we have Daily Sun is the last one. Federal government moves to stop cross-border rice import. Okay, we're talking about smuggling for a very long time. Federal government moves to stop cross-border rice import. Okay, from there, let's, I think that's the last one we're looking at now. Gentlemen, the story on the front page of most of the papers, especially Blueprint and Vanguard, are quite jostling for one's attention. Over the weekend, all eyes were on Anambra State over the governorship election, and due to the fact that there were no elections in one of the local governments, of course, INEC decided the best thing for now is to ensure that we conduct elections and do the needful. But basically, let me start with you, Dr. Kayode. What do you make of the election in Anambra State? Before then, it was, a lot of people said there will be no election in Anambra State. A lot of others said, of course, there's going to be a bloodshed of all kinds. But the Anambra election seemed to be one of the peaceful in recent times.
Yes, that's a good one, Mike, because it seems as if you were reading my mind. That was exactly where I was first of all going to put my comments on. There have been a lot of beating of drums of war before this election, and people were highly skeptical about whether there's going to be election or not, even despite the fact that INEC offices here and there were being burned. There are a lot of arson within the area, and then people were declaring and undeclaring, of no movement within a week and all that. But I was at that time saying, look, if only IPOB could see itself as being larger than life like that, why don't you divert this energy to political movement? If you cannot have your own political party, move into a political party, occupy it, because politics is all about
numbers.
So if you have all those numbers, move to either YPP, whether by now YPP will have ever gotten more than what they are having, because IPOB is made mainly of the youth. Do you understand? Move into somewhere like YPP and then show your energy there. By now, it will have been a different ballgame. Well, but they were busy. They were busy making a lot of utterances, But then again, there are a lot of speculations people also came up with at that time. IPOB, all of them are just making noise so that they could be recognized in different forms. We all know what normally happens there. So at the end of the day, when IPOB now said, okay, we are withdrawing our statement, this and that, so people started saying, oh, something has happened again underneath the water. But the beauty of it is, at the end of the day, honestly speaking, election in Anambra was peaceful. And except where somebody was saying, look, I was made to sign the paper under duress, of which definitely the court will look into that. Again, it's inconclusive now. Soludo is leading the next person with about 40-something votes. But in Ihiala, we are still having about 140,000 voters. You remember what happened in Osun State during the last election? And then they were to go for another supplementary election, and the whole thing turned upside down. Probably, people of Anambra State, they should now use that area to be able to choose the kind of leader they want in the next dispensation. All right.
Now, Dotun, I wonder what you make of this. There were some, during the election, in fact, on that Saturday, we saw some videos already going viral of, the vote buying and all of that. Of course, one wouldn't know, or one cannot verify the fact that, oh, it is this political party or that political party, but we saw some of those videos here and there. And in fact, in one of the villages, women, they were rejecting that, no, we don't want your monies, we don't want this, as the case may be. But it boils down to the issue of how mature we are politically. Talk to us from that window.
I'm a stakeholder in all these, and sometimes the issue of security, we overplay the issue of security, and we leave out some sensitive part of our electionary process. Security is very important. Without it, election will not hold. But our history in Nigeria has shown that insecurity has never stopped the election anywhere, including Borno State. There will always be result. So when before this election, I'd made that point that, see, insecurity in Nigeria, when it comes to election, Nigerian government will find a way around it, and that has been the practice. But this is my worry, sir. The first thing is apathy. We know the population of the registered voter. We saw a polling unit that only 2 people voted. Is that the representation of the belief and the expectation of the people? That you have less than 25% of the entire registered voter come out to cast their vote.
And deciding
the fate and the destiny of everyone is something to be worried about. And particularly, I am worried about that fact. And now, a lot of people don't seem to have seen what may come out of this election. It is not yet to hold.
No, it's not over.
Because
it's not over.
This difference that Dr. Kayode talked about, there's even another dimension to it. If, for example, a party, another political party comes up and wins maybe 70% of vote in Ihiala local government, running to, let's say, about 100,000 vote, for example, and everything, this thing, then the question of spread that now come in. Yes, spread, because you can't just win election with one local government and say you have become governor. So there will still be a bit of back and forth. But now I think what we should learn from here is the fact that we must take security seriously. Once we get that, so that we'll be able to discuss some other important aspect of our electionary process. I'm going to start an experience. When I was running for office, the first meeting I had in my own community, 204 people came. And you know, it's a son, this kind of thing. On the day of election, only 13 people voted. You know what happened? Vote buy happened. The people could not, because of the reality of their poverty, they couldn't resist the temptation of having 5,000, of having 10,000.
2,000, even 2,000.
No, they have actually taken it beyond 2,000. It was my state that started, and I'm not proud of it. But I have to say, you are aware of the Dibo Sebe. Miss that, just vote for me.
Sorry.
That is when you vote for me, I will give you money to put food on your table.
Oh. So you understand, and my assistant went to, it was not registered in my polling unit. It was my personal assistant, and it was there looking at how things, looking at how things were going. Then he saw somebody who was part of our meetings, and he said, "Madam, won't you vote for Dotun?" The woman turned and said, "Who is Dotun?" Because she could no longer recognize who Dotun is because of the reality of what's on the table. So are we going to continue like this? But we will not discuss these sensitive issues if all we are discussing is insecurity. And that's why government has to wake up. We can't get anything right in the electionary process if the issue of security is not sorted. Is it not a shame that we are deploying that number of police personnel to secure election?
Meanwhile, issue of stomach infrastructure is there, and nobody is going to discuss it.
This stomach infrastructure has become, I think it started from, is it Osun or Ekiti State?
Is it?
It started in Ekiti State.
It
started in Ekiti State.
The one for Ekiti was a bit matured.
That was systemic.
It was a pre-election.
Whether it was mature,
and then there was Ministry of Stomach Infrastructure.
The issue there is that the term stomach infrastructure started from Ekiti State.
Definitely.
That is the issue, and it has become a regular phenomenon now.
It has joined our lexicon.
Exactly, our lexicon. But the issue there is, let us even narrow it down to the Anambra people. We've always seen that in Anambra State, from the records that we have, shows that Anambra residents or Anambra voters always don't come out en masse in that regard. The percentage of those who decide Anambra governorship are usually not more than 30% or 40% thereabout since 1999 up until now.
It's not peculiar to Anambra State. I have to be very sincere about that. If you also look at last election in Nigeria, how many people collected voters card to how many people voted, you'll be able to see that. At least, according to the INEC chairman, over 80 million people collected voters card. But then when you now look at the total vote casted during the last election, not up to 32,000 or a little bit above 32,000. So it's all over the place. Even look at Lagos State. How many people normally collect voters card, and how many people really go to the polling unit to vote? But
what is responsible for that, though?
Unlike in the north.
Yes.
Unlike in the north, where they are highly where they are politically savvy. They are politically savvy in the north than here. Here, even though we are politically sophisticated, we don't translate that to vote.
Political sophistication and political savviness.
You know,
are they different things?
They are different things. I will explain to you. I will explain to you. Savvy. When it comes to savvy, you understand it holistically. You know that if you want to control the resources, it is not only about economics. No, it's not only about education. You have to have power. You have to have that instrumentality of power. You might be educated, and then you still be relegated. Why is? Because you are educated, you don't have that political power to do things. And that's why I always tell everybody that talks about let us change. It's not only about changing. Look at what I said about IPOB now. You have the population. You claim to have the population, but do you have instrumentality of power? No. So savvy has to do with instrumentality of power, while sophistication has to do with understanding the nitty-gritty, the maneuvering. Do you understand? But understanding the theoretical aspects.
Yeah, but isn't it the political sophistication that leads to the savviness of anyone who knows how to
saying. That is translation. That is translation. It is one thing for you to know theory. It's another thing for you to be able to translate that your theory to practical.
All right, fine. So
do you understand?
So the theory,
sophistication.
So the theory is known in the south, the practical is known in the north.
Exactly. Okay. That is why you see. That's why you will see all this Ebola. These people that carries dustbin here and there, they go with their transistor radio to listen to what is happening. And when it is election period, they travel out. They travel back to their state to go and vote. They don't joke. They don't joke with their voters card. All right, PVC. But here, even during election, you see our youth playing football on the road, going around playing. They don't give a hoot. They say, I beg. Do you understand? But over there, they know what it means. And you can even see, even there, we have seen records of even underage voting. We have seen records of people coming in from everywhere to come and vote. But here, we are only being sophisticated without translating it to savviness.
Okay, well, that's people from all over the place. It remains a claim that it has not been tested to be, to get the authentic verification of it. But we've seen videos.
Sorry, look at a particular state. A particular state that is being affected by insecurity, killings, and all that. Okay. But look at the votes that they were able to come up with. Yeah, the last election.
Yeah. Now, Dotun, let me ask this. A small city like Nnewi, for instance, in Anambra State, is going down record to be one of the cities with the highest concentration of billionaires in Nigeria. Now, if you go to Onitsha, it is the same thing, of so many people and so on. But what kind of, when it comes to the kind of governor that Anambra people really want? Because we see everybody is a small government of its own. You have everything. In fact, there are people who, tar the roads in their places, build the hospitals and so on. But what kind of a governor are Anambra people really looking out for?
I think I'm not going to go back to the issue of leadership of character, but it's very important. Person that will be able to translate individualism to communalism. That's the wealth of the few individual. How do you spread it? Because you see, the concept of wealth generally, if you do not understand it, you will not be able to govern well. What is it? There's the principle of the 10% across the community. In every sector, they call them the players in the industry. It's the principle of the 10%. So in each of the community you get to, there's this principle of the 10% who are worthy. You can't take it away. And the 90% may actually be in poverty, but there's the reality of the 10%. Now, what is a government supposed to do in a reasonable community is to stand in between the wealth and the want, the prosperity and the poverty. And you help the people who do not have to have at least the basic things of life, so that you reduce the number of people living in abject poverty. It's not taking away poverty from the community. It's just reducing the number of people living in abject poverty. And in 2014 or thereabout, during the World Poverty Eradication Day, November 17, the world was concerned. The United Nations says, okay, for us to get out of poverty, what we need to do is that government needs to allocate more resources to people living in abject poverty. How do you get these resources? It's from the wealthy ones. You tax them, you tax these people less, so that you can translate the wealth they have to reduce the want of the people who live in poverty. So I think that's the kind of governor that Anambra, somebody who will, because there was a research in 2017, and they said that people, poor men or poor people who live very close to wealthy men die early. Why? Because, and that's what's happening now. You just see that relocate, that's what they've been telling us. But they will not tell you the reality, that when you begin to look at statistics, poor people who live with wealthy people, they die early. Why? Because they wake up to wealth and they are in want. So they need somebody who will be
has this been verified?
Check Google, sir.
Empirically.
Check Google.
Wow.
You see, what Anambra people need, aside from what you just said, is somebody who will be able to annex individual talents to become a team player. For instance, let us use football team as an example. Look at Bayern Munich. Now, look at the array of professionals they have in their forward. A lot of them, more than 6, that we say, if this one should meet this, it will. But what are they producing now? What have been Bayern Munich's results based on all they have? But what we are now talking about is bring up somebody that can do what Chelsea did, I think about last season, whereby you say, they are all Ishawurus. They are all small boys. They cannot play. But their individual talents were being put together to be able to provide results. So Anambra should look for somebody, not somebody who have been somewhere before, who have been in somewhere before, and at the end of the day, we are not seeing the result, despite all his intellectual acumen.
Everybody that
despite all his intellectual acumen,
every one of them has been in one place or the other.
Exactly.
So we need somebody.
They all have what it takes.
We need somebody who can annex resources together to give the desired result.
All right.
Bringing people who can annex those resources together and then give the desired result.
I believe Anambra is not in short supply of people like that. Yeah. And especially if you look at all of those who are contesting now in the various political parties and all of that, they all have what it takes to, because they are all accomplished gentlemen in their own respect. Yes. But we wait to see what the outcome will be in the run-up election or the other election.
But then, there is also the role of the people. How are the people also making these guys to deliver dividend of democracy? Because when you don't push them to deliver dividend of democracy, they just be looking at you, you enjoy yourself, so they will just be doing whatever they like.
Okay. All right, we have to leave you here now. Thank you very much, Dr. Dayo Kayode, for coming on the program. Thank you. Thank you. Dotun Ojon, thank you very much for coming.
And you have not thanked him for the quote of the day.
Oh, no, of course. We have accredited that quote to him. He, you know, if you don't, you can be educated and still be relegated.
Yes.
All right, very good. That's like motivational speaking. All right, thank you so much.